Every day, we walk, run, and have movement in our lives. From grabbing a glass in the cabinet to walking up the stairs, our arms, legs, and everything in our body is in motion. However, there is something in the complex body of ours that we don't take for granted. Joints. Joints are when two bones are connected with them categorized into three things: synarthrosis, which are unmovable; amphithrosis, slightly movable; and diarthrosis, freedom to move. There are also many types of joints, from cartilaginous joints, which attach bones with cartilage but doesn't allow them to move a ton, like the ribs; fibrous joints, which connect bones without any motion, like the skull; and synovial joints, which have much greater movement between bones that have synovial fluid, which can result in being the oil of the joint and protecting the bones. There's so much more to learn about joints, but the main showcase of them is their movements. Those movements include their flexion, supination, dorsiflexion, circumduction, and so much more. Let's see that in action.
Extension is the movement that increases the angle between two body parts. This can be seen in our arm with the more we bend outwards, the higher the increment of the angle is. If we move the arm more inward, we demonstrate flexion, the opposite, which is the movement that decreases the angle between two body parts. Abduction is movement going away from the midline. This is shown with our arms going outwards when doing a jumping jack. When our arms go towards the midline, this showcases adduction, which is defined as movement towards the midline. A good way to remember the difference is the first three words of adduction, add. This equates to adding movement going to the imaginary line that cuts the body vertically into two halves. Medial rotation, as shown with the rotation of the ankle going medially, is rotational movement towards the midline. When we move the ankle laterally, it showcases lateral rotation, rotational movement away from the midline. When we raise our shoulders, we do elevation, which is movement in a superior direction. When our shoulders go downwards, this type of movement is depression, movement in an inferior direction. If we take a hand and place the palm face down, we show pronation, which is a rotation of the hand and forearm so the palm faces backwards or downwards. If we turn it around where the palm is looking up, it displays supination, rotation of the forearm and hand so the palm faces forward or upward. Now, looking down at one of our ankles, if we make our toes point up to the sky, we show dorsiflexion. That's when we have flexion at the ankle so that the foot points upward. However, doing the opposite where we show extension at the ankle so that the foot points downward, that's called plantar flexion. There are two types of movement at our sole. If the movement of the sole is away from the median plane, so that the sole faces in a lateral direction, that's eversion. If we point the sole in the opposite direction going in medially, we demonstrate inversion, movement of the sole towards the median plane so that the sole faces in a medial direction. Going back to our hand, by bringing the thumb and little finger together, that's called opposition. However, if we do movement that moves the thumb and the pinky finger away from each other, effectively reversing opposition, we define that as reposition. When we extend our arm, like to retrieve an item, that's an example of protraction, the anterior movement of the mandible or scapula on the thoracic wall. Once we bring it back, we do retraction, the bringing of the protracted scapula or mandible back into their original positions. Two other movements that we do is circumduction, the circular movement of a limb, and lateral flexion, bending of the body, mainly torso and neck, to the left and right.
With that, it concludes all the fascination about joints, from their surprising types to what some of them are made of. It's incredible to believe. There are many more movements and special things that they can do that are listed here. So, with all that information out the way, remember to get up, walk around for a bit, and appreciate the wonders of joints.